how to get out of debt. Now this is a topic I've talked about a lot over the last 2 years, but I want to give you guys some quick tips that you can take on how to get out of debt. So let's jump into it. Hey everyone, welcome back. So this is Lewis Pipe. Before we jump into the video on how to get out of debt, make sure you click the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Click the little bell icon as well. That way you get notified each time a video comes out. So how to get out of debt. So let's jump into the first thing. First thing you want to do is you want to get a quick view of your financial picture. So you want to understand what you're spending each month, where money's going, where your money's going. The best way to do this is to get a bank statement, get a credit card statement of the last 3 months, and then go through and categorize every single category. How much you're spending on food, how much you're spending on rent, how much you're spending on things like recurring subscriptions like Netflix, how much you're spending on your phone bill. You want to get a detailed list of what you're spending, break it down into categories, and where your money's going each month. After that, then you want to set up a budget. That's going to be the first thing you need to do. Figure out where your money's going, and then you need to create a budget for your money. So you're telling your money where to go, not just wandering out there and just spending with no path, no plan, and just spending and just hoping it all works out at the end of the month. Next thing you want to do is you want to, after you've got a good financial picture, you've got your budget set up, you want to decrease your expenses. Wherever you can cut money, cut expenses, cut purchases, things you don't need, eating out, buying a bunch of unnecessary shoes and clothes, maybe some subscriptions and stuff that you've had set up for months that you're not using. You want to start to decrease those. Maybe get a lower phone bill, maybe renegotiate your cable bill, your internet bill. Cut as many expenses as you can because that's going to be the first step in one of the quickest ways to give yourself a raise and increase your income. Which brings us to the next step, and that is increasing your income. So again, you can only cut your expenses so much, and that's only going to do, while it's a good start, it's only going to max out to a certain point. At some point you have to live, and you can only cut expenses to a certain extent. The thing with income is you can increase there's no limit to how much income you can bring in. So that's where you need to start to look for ways to bring in some additional income, whether it's get a second job, whether it's get some type of side hustle to bring in additional income. This is definitely key for me when I paid off my debt, is increasing my income. I definitely would not have been able to do it without this step here, increasing my income. This had the most profound effect on me being able to move the needle with getting my debt paid off once I've gotten the budget set in place. This was huge. Next is you want to start saving money. So you want to save up an emergency fund during the next step. Before you start knocking out your debt, you want to get some type of emergency fund, some buffer there. Depending on your comfort level, if you don't have anything, recommended is probably starting out with like $1,000. Honestly, depending on your situation, it may not work. I know for me personally, that amount did not work for me. So I went ahead and I had at least 3 to 6 months of money in a savings account before I started really aggressively attacking my debt. Now, I'm not saying you have to have that in place. Just get whatever you're comfortable with. If you don't have anything, start with $1,000, maybe working up to at least a month of savings saved up in your account. And then that brings us to the last step. You want to start debt snowballing your debt. So you want to start paying off your debt at this point. You've got your budget set up. You got a plan in place to decrease your expenses. You're going to start looking for ways to increase your income, bringing in more additional streams of income. You're saving up your emergency fund, and now you need to start paying off your debt and getting the debt knocked out. Anyway, those are some quick tips. If you're struggling and you're just looking for some ways to get out of debt, I definitely will link up to more videos on here where I talk about more in depth of steps that you can take to expedite the debt process, how you can bring in additional income, different steps you can do on budgeting, how to set up a budget. So definitely check those videos out, and drop a comment in below. I'm curious to see where you guys are at on your debt journey. If you're debt free, what you're doing, what steps you're taking in order to get out of debt. I'll see you all on the next video.